Lauren Boebert is shaking up the House of Representatives, and we're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Hyde. This is Hide and Seek Media. Hello, all you beautiful and amazing people. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, here at Hide and Seek Media, what I'm trying to do is bring you a blue-collar, common-sense perspective on politics, culture, and sports. And today, I want to talk about what's going on in the House of Representatives with Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Adam Schiff, Kevin McCarthy. It's just chaos right now in the House of Representatives. And I believe that it's this kind of chaos that's going to lead to the complete demise of our country. We need to get this under control because this bickering and fighting in the Republican Party is going to fracture the Republican Party in a way that we will not be able to fight against the Democrats, and they're going to win. They're going to control the country for the next 20 years, and we won't have a country if that happens. So I want to talk about what's going on in the House and why it's going to affect us and what we can do to fix it, right? So I'm going to jump right into the first story I've got pulled up here from Yahoo News, right? It says, politically dumb. House Republicans fume after Lauren Boebert goes rogue on Biden impeachments, right? So just for a little bit of backstory here, Lauren Boebert has launched impeachment articles against Joe Biden. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene already had impeachment articles filed against Joe Biden, but wasn't pushing for a vote yet. She's waiting for the investigations to conclude so that they could use that information from the investigations to add to the impeachment charges and, you know, really have a solid case. Lauren Boebert doesn't want to wait. She's like, no, we need to force this now. We need action. We need to take action. No more of this posturing. No more of these. These investigations are great, and we hope that they bear fruit. But we want results. And I get it. I'm with her on that. We want results, but there is a way of going about things that garner the best results. And I don't know that Lauren Boebert's actions are that. I admire her tenacity and her zeal, the way she approaches the job. I definitely would do the same thing if I were a congressman. That's how I would approach this job. Is I don't give a damn what you guys think. I'm here for the American people and for the country, for that flag, for the Constitution. I'm not here for you or your constituents or your fundraising. I'm not even here for my fund. I'm here for the American people, right? And I'm going to do what I believe is best for the American people. I get that, but I don't know if I would say it's politically dumb, right? Because this is going to stir her base up a little bit and get them, riled up and active, which is partly what I think she's trying to do here. Marjorie Taylor Greene does make a good point later in another article that I'll get to here in a little bit, where she kind of hints at Boebert maybe doing this as a grift. But let's read this article here from Yahoo News and get into this story, right? It says, House Republicans are growing tired of their right-wing colleagues' attempts to impeach Joe Biden and investigate his family after Lauren Boebert from Colorado filed a privileged motion Tuesday on articles of impeachment she introduced against the president. Now, I want to stop just for a second because I'm going to try and not read these right-wing adjectives and fillers that they put in here, because you don't ever see it say left wing whenever they talk about Democrats, right? So I'm going to try to avoid that as much as I can just going forward, so we can try to keep this as level as possible, right? So it goes on to say, Boebert surprised many of her colleagues on the floor when she filed the motion, which would force a vote to impeach Biden as early as this week. The articles related to Biden's handling of the U.S.-Mexico border and allege his dereliction of duty and abuse of power. So, okay, I want to take another pause right here because, yes, that is true, right? He is derelict of his duty in not protecting the southern border and not trying to stop illegal immigration from happening as best he can. This is something you throw in as an add-on, right? You find the real crime, the bribery, you impeach him on that, and you toss this in as just another nugget to just, stick it to him a little more. you don't start with the U.S. border because that can be argued away, right? Good attorneys and good politicians can argue those allegations away. So I don't think that's a good baseline, and I think that's one of the problems with the Boebert's articles of impeachment. And I think that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene has waited to push a vote for hers, because she knows that this isn't enough, right? It's just not enough. We can't play the Democrat game like what Adam Schiff did, and we'll get to him in a little bit because he's getting his payback for that crap. But we're not going to play that game that Schiff played, where we have evidence, blah 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 blah. We're gonna and then go ahead and impeach him with nothing, and then end up failing. Like, we're not going to fail. So we need to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before we actually launch the impeachment. And I get that's what a lot of these Republicans and like McCarthy and Byron Donalds is saying. But at the same time, I do admire what Boebert is doing here, because this is keeping the conversation alive, right? It's got me talking about it. It's getting other people talking about it. A number of media organizations, I've done articles about this story. So it is keeping the conversation, right, of impeachment alive. It is keeping it fresh in the minds of voters that you guys better be doing something. You better be accomplishing something other than just some stupid freaking committee hearing where we hear people, that's not true, Senator. I don't know. I'm not going to answer that, Senator. I'm not going to answer that, Senator. I'm not going to answer that, Senator. I'm not going to answer that, Congressman. We hear that all the time in these stupid committees, and they go nowhere because nobody is held accountable for their answers or remarks within those committee hearings. And so it's just for show. It's all a dog and pony show to say, look, we're doing something, when they're not actually doing anything at all except wasting taxpayers' time and money. So there needs to be results. And this is what Lauren Boebert is getting at with this push, right? Is we need to see results, not just posturing, but real results. But I want to, McCarthy isn't going to just allow for Lauren Boebert to push for a vote. So what he did was he negotiated with Boebert. I found this article here from the AP News. GOP's Boebert wanted to impeach Biden, but House Speaker McCarthy had other plans. So in this article here, it says that, let me see. Instead, McCarthy negotiated a deal with Boebert, the Colorado Republican, to send the Biden impeachment resolution for review to the Judiciary and Homeland Security committees, fending off a vote for some time, which means that, they're going to just review her impeachment articles. And I don't really actually think it's going to come to a vote. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is right when she said that this is just a grift by Lauren Boebert. In a sense, I'm not saying Boebert is doing this like she doesn't want to impeach Biden and she's just doing this for posturing. I guarantee you, she definitely wants to impeach Joe Biden. She definitely wants to be the one who gets those impeachment articles put up, because that would just bolster her clout in Washington, right? And once you get there, that city, that job gets its hooks in you, it's over. I mean, you can see it with Boebert, you can see it with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now that the seeds of power and the claws and the hooks of power and greed are in them, you can see it. It's getting nasty, right? I found this article from timcast.com. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls Lauren Boebert a little bitch to her face during a House floor argument. It goes on to say, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene reportedly called Rep. Lauren Boebert a little bitch during an argument on the House floor on Wednesday. The lawmakers have been feuding over competing resolutions to impeach President Joe Biden. On Wednesday, Rep. Boebert used a procedural tool called a privileged resolution to force a vote on her articles of impeachment, stepping on Rep. Greene's toes, who has been long fighting for impeachment. I'm not going to play the conversation. The Daily Beast reports, according to two sources that saw the exchange and a third familiar with the matter, the back and forth began when Boebert approached Greene, then seated in the chamber, and confronted her over statements you made about me publicly. All three of the sources said Greene called Boebert a bitch. One of the sources said Greene called her a little bitch. At this point, the outlet sources say that Greene told Boebert that she copied my articles of impeachment, but the Colorado congresswoman said she hadn't even read it. Greene introduced impeachment articles against Biden in January of 2021 and again in May of this year. I've donated to you. I've defended you, but you've been nothing but a little bitch to me, Greene told Boebert, according to the Beast report. And you've copied my articles of impeachment after I asked you to co-sponsor them. Multiple unnamed sources, including a GOP lawmaker, reportedly confirmed to the Beast that the exchange happened. Okay, Marjorie, we're through, Boebert reportedly replied. We were never together, Greene fired back. Boebert did not deny the exchange happened when the outlet contacted her for comment. Marjorie is not my enemy. I came here to protect our children and their prosperity and their posterity. Joe Biden and the Democrats are destroying our country, she told the Daily Beast. My priorities are to correct their bad policies and save America. For her part, Greene told the Daily Beast, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Speaking to Semaphore, Greene explained why she called Boebert a little bitch and told the paper that there would absolutely not be reconciliation. She has genuinely been a nasty little bitch to me, Greene told Semaphore. I was sitting down, and as I stood up, so I stood up and said, I'm happy to clarify my public statements to your face. I've told her exactly what I think about her. Greene accused Boebert of issuing the articles of impeachment to grift. It's purely for fundraising, Greene continued. It's throwing out red meat so that people will donate to her campaign because she's coming up at the end of the month and she's trying to produce good fundraising numbers. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told reporters that he will be pushing Boebert's resolution to the House Judiciary Committee, so it will not get an immediate vote after all. Right? I kind of agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene here that Boebert is just doing this for other purposes. Because, I mean, in a sense, Greene's right? Like, Boebert did kind of do the same thing that Greene did and launch articles of impeachment based on the southern border and dereliction of duty, which is basically what Marjorie Taylor Greene's articles of impeachment are about. So it basically is the same thing. Boebert is just trying to keep her name out there, trying to keep that fire lit under Congress, keep out their representatives to continue the fight, right? And to not just do it for posturing, not just do it for look at me, look at what I've done, right? That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene is starting to do. Like, she's already jumped the MAGA ship, right? And joined the McCarthy camp. She's full on in McCarthy's pocket now. So we can't trust anything that comes out of Marjorie Taylor Greene's mouth anymore because now she's a politician and not a representative of the people. And so I'm kind of disappointed, but I also I don't really think that Lauren Boebert is a phenomenal congresswoman of any kind or anything. She's great. She, stands up there and speaks up for, American rights or American values and the Constitution and all of that, right? Like, she's MAGA 100%. But at the same time, I kind of agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene that she's just doing this to kind of bolster, I don't know, fundraising numbers, but to bolster something, right? She's not doing this to get results of impeachment. She's doing this to get results, voters, and popularity, right? For me, this is a problem because the infighting in the Republican Party, like, they need to decide their identity right now. Either you are going to be MAGA or you are going to be Rhino. That's it. because there is no more Republican. We just need to just do away with that party, and you can you can be Republican, which will be a rhino, or you can be a MAGA. Are you going to be part of the MAGA party, and put America first, or are you going to be a Republican and put your interests before the country's? But not all is bad. There is some good news coming out of the House of Representatives, and I want to touch on that as well. There's this story here from the Daily Wire. House votes to censure Adam Schiff. The Republican-led House on Wednesday voted to formally rebuke Rep. Adam Schiff for playing up allegations of bad behavior by President Donald Trump across multiple investigations into the former president. Passed by a 213 to 209 vote along party lines, the resolution reprimands Schiff for misleading the American public and for conduct unbecoming of an elected member of the House of Representatives. Democrats gathered on the House floor and chanted "shame, shame" as the vote got underway. They gave Schiff a round of applause when the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy called him to the well for the pronouncement of the censure. Schiff is now the 25th member of the House ever to be censured and the third this century. Censure registers the House's deep disapproval of member misconduct that nevertheless does not meet the threshold of expulsion. A government history webpage. That doesn't make much sense. The 4-page resolution introduced by Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, which I'm a big fan of, accuses Schiff of abusing his position and telling falsehoods about the Russian investigation. It also mentions issues related to the Ukraine-focused impeachment inquiry against Trump. Once passed, the resolution told Schiff to report to the well for the House chamber to hear the censure and call on the House Ethics Committee to investigate his conduct. 6 Republicans voted present. 5 of them are members of the ethics panel, a C-SPAN producer observed. Luna noted that historically this is typical, so members do not weigh in on investigations sent their way. 6 other members, 3 Democrats and 3 Republicans, did not vote. I'm representing the interest of those who trusted me to come here and do the right thing, as well as those who have felt that their voices have been ignored and wishes disregarded, Luna said in announcing a vote Wednesday on her resolution. A prior version of Luna's resolution to censure Schiff was defeated last week when 20 Republicans joined the majority of Democrats to table it. A sticking point among GOP defectors was a clause that said Schiff should be fined $16 million, which is about half the cost of the special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian election interference, if the House Ethics Committee found that he lied and abused sensitive information. Rep. Thomas Massie, one of the Republicans who voted against the censure last week, raised constitutionality concerns about the fine. The language was removed in the new version of the resolution, and it managed to overcome another motion to table earlier in the day on Wednesday. The resolution to censure Rep. Adam Schiff just passed the House of Representatives with the changes I insisted were needed to make it constitutional, Massie tweeted on Wednesday after the final vote. Thank you to everyone who stood with me and the Constitution to fix this resolution. Republicans have long accused Schiff, who served as chairman of the committee for 4 years, of being a repeat liar, particularly because he insisted there was evidence of collusion. GOP frustration with Schiff led McCarthy to kick him off the intelligence panel earlier in January after Republicans took over control of the House. Right, so Schiff deserved it. Right, Schiff definitely deserved that censure. And the article goes on to mention that he's now running for Senate. Dianne Feinstein's empty seat, or which will be empty here soon. So there's a good possibility that he wins that seat and just moves from the House to the Senate, and that's even worse. So while that is good that he is getting censored for his role in the impeachments of Donald Trump, I kind of don't think it goes far enough, because 2 impeachments of a president with no evidence to back them up, and Adam Schiff was a big proponent of both of them and was somebody who was claiming to have evidence of wrongdoing that never came to light. There should have been more than a censure. I don't know about a fine, but expulsion I wouldn't have been against that, because what he did was, I mean, it's beyond campaign lying or, false promises or anything like that. This was, you were telling the American people that the sitting president was colluding with an adversary to ensure he won an election, and then to try and hinder a political opponent from running for office.
This is not about Ukraine. This is about our democracy. This is about our national security. This is about whether the American people have a right to expect that the President of the United States is going to act in their interests, with their security in mind, and not for some illicit personal or political reason. Even after our investigation began, even after the impeachment inquiry began, there was President Donald Trump out on the White House lawn, once again making it abundantly clear that he wanted Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. And what's more, he wanted other countries to interfere in our election as well, and that China should also investigate the Bidens.
It's insane. And this should have gone to expulsion, in my opinion. But the entirety of the mess that is going on in the House of Representatives is a clear sign that the fracture in the Republican Party is real, and it's time to decide how we're going to do this. Is it going to go MAGA, or is it going to go back to the same old Republican ways? Now is the time to make a decision, and it's up to us, the voters, to decide the direction of that party, not the people that represent us. It is our power. We control who is there. All we have to do is choose what we want. Do we want MAGA? Do we want the same old Republican Party we've had? Let me know what you guys think about in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I really do appreciate you watching. It means so much to me that you've made it this far. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Smash that like button if you like the content. If you want more, head on over to Locals and become a member today. There's plenty of content over there that you won't find on YouTube or Rumble, so make sure to become a member. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I'll catch you later. Peace.